Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Randy, and I'm back after about half a year of not recording anything at all. Today is May 6th, 2016, 3:05 p.m. A lot has happened in the past half a year. I've been very busy with a lot of things. I'm not going to get into any of that in this video, though. I'm going to try to keep it confined to, as you can tell from the title of this video, Fire Emblem Fates Birthright, a game that I just beat about 5 days ago. I've got a lot of things to say about this game. I've been playing through Conquest. I'm pretty far through Conquest now, I think, but I'm gonna keep it all confined to Birthright. I'll warn you when I get to them, and I will get to them. There will be spoilers for Birthright later on in this video. If you're watching this video and you're wondering whether or not you should buy Fates Birthright or Fates, any of them, yes, you absolutely should, because it's fucking amazing. Let me quickly, before I get into like the actual discussion that I want to have about this, let me just point you to a few things to kind of, if you're someone who's deciding whether or not you want to buy the game, let me just point you to some things to help you decide. There are a couple cutscenes near the beginning of the game, so it's basically at the beginning of the game. So I guess it's a spoiler for the very beginning of the game. But basically, the premise of Fire Emblem Fates is that there are two families. You got to side with one of them. Watch the cutscene that you see when you side with both of them. Like when you side with your Hoshido family and when you side with your Nohrian family. Watch those cutscenes, just to kind of give you an idea of like the fucking caliber of storytelling, and like the story is fucking amazing. Particularly, I love the fucking cutscene that you get when you side with Nohr. It's fucking powerful. Also, the cutscene, well, the like, how do I say it? The like video cutscenes where there's no dialogue, where it's just a video playing, those look fucking ridiculous. I don't know what kind of fucking future magic was used to fucking get like amazing looking cutscenes like this on a Nintendo handheld, but watch Azura's Dance, Azura, Azura's Dance on YouTube. Somebody on YouTube uploaded a really high quality version of it. Some dude named Phoenix Master 1. Check out his video. It's I think it's in 1080, 60 frames. It looks ridiculous. Like I said, I don't know. I've never seen cutscenes that look this good on a handheld. But yeah, it's ridiculous. The story's amazing. The cutscenes are amazing. I love the fucking music too. If you want just to get an idea of how the music is in this game, these are like two of my favorite songs in this game. One is called The Water Maiden, and the other one's called Road Taken. And there are like two versions of Road Taken. There's basically, if you're not familiar with the 3DS Fire Emblem games, and I don't know if this applies to the other ones as well. I've only played Awakening and Fates. But when you're like in a battle, like when you're on a map and there are enemies on the map, there are two versions of the song that you hear. There's the song that plays when you're not actually fighting another enemy, and there's like another like more extreme another more intense version of the song that plays when you actually like engage an enemy in like a fight, and I've just actually recently played Awakening also. I'm pretty new to the Fire Emblem series, but I really like that effect a lot, where it just kind of like they're both the same song, but they're kind of like laid over each other. But when you actually like get into a fight with an enemy, then the like more intense version plays. I fucking love that. It's just when you're playing the game, it's such a cool effect. I don't know. I when I first like heard it, I was like, wow, this is pretty fucking awesome. So those, check out check out The Water Maiden, great song, and Road Taken, both versions of Road Taken, fucking great music. There's another song called End of All that you might not want to listen to. It's my favorite song in the game, but it's the song that you hear basically during the last mission. So if you don't want to hear that, if you don't want to know what that sounds like ahead of time, don't listen to that one. Personally, I try to keep away from like game soundtracks before I actually play the full game, just so I don't like, you know, accidentally stumble onto an amazing song. But I like to go into games like fresh like that. So yeah, if you don't care about music spoilers, I guess check out End of All. It's fucking amazing. So basically, like I said before, I'm new to Fire Emblem. What basically got me into Fire Emblem is this. Recently, the Pokemon 3DS new 3DS version came out. I have it. It's amazing. It's awesome. So I bought it. I had some money. I bought it, and I was like, all right. So I got a new 3DS. It's awesome. I love this thing. But I don't have any new games for it. And I've always been interested in the Fire Emblem series. Like, I played the demo of Awakening a long time ago, and I didn't really get it. I wasn't into it when I played it. I was like, this is kind of eh. But I always thought it looked really cool, and I played Smash Brothers, and like, I mean, I play Smash Brothers pretty often, so I know that fucking Fire Emblem is a big deal for Nintendo. Like 5 or 6 characters are from Fire Emblem games, which is ridiculous. But yeah, so I got my new 3DS. I was really happy with it. I wanted a new game, so I said, fuck it, I'm gonna buy Fire Emblem Awakening, because I looked on Amazon and I saw that it was still $40, and that game came out a while ago. So when a game like years after it was released is still the same price as it was when it was released, that kind of tells you that the game is selling extremely well, which tells you that it's probably an amazing fucking game and you should probably buy it, which is what I did. And like, there are two like modes that you can play in Fire Emblem. There's classic mode and there's casual mode. Classic mode, basically, in classic mode, if a character dies in a battle, they're gone forever. They're actually just dead, and they're gone, and they don't have any more dialogue in the story. They don't play a part in the story. They're gone forever. So I was thinking, like, all right, that sounds pretty fucking intense. Like, that's gonna make me really think carefully about where I move my fucking guys and like who I sacrifice in like certain situations. Like, I gotta be super careful. That like forces you to be ultra strategic, and I was like, that sounds fucking awesome. I'm gonna do that. So I played Fire Emblem Awakening in classic mode on hard, thinking that I'm a badass, and I paired up my main character with a tank that you get kind of early in the game. I paired him up, so I raised his defense kind of a good amount, and I kind of like sent him out there to kick some ass. And then a mage comes along, and I looked at the damage the mage was going to do. I was like, all right, what, like 7 damage? Come on, I got like fucking 25 HP. Bring it on, bitch. Well, I guess it would have been like 9 damage or something. But like, anyway, the mage gets a critical hit, and in Fire Emblem games, a critical hit does 3 times damage. So that 9 damage or whatever it was going to do turned into 27 damage, and my main character was killed in one shot because of a critical hit, because randomization killed me. That happened to me once. I was like, that's fucking bullshit, and I was, all right, fine. I'm going to fucking change my strategy up a little bit. Fine, whatever. It happens. That's life. Life is a big fucking RNG machine. Sometimes you get fucked. So I tried it again, and basically, like, my mage or my healer died, and I was like, no. My healer died, and I was like, all right, so now I have to play the game without a fucking healer. So fuck this. I stopped. I immediately switched to from classic mode to casual mode, And in casual mode, when units die in a fight, they come back after the fight. So they don't quote unquote die. They get like injured and they just kind of leave the battle and they go to recuperate or whatever the fuck. So that I'm fine with. I am totally fine with that. It's a lot easier than classic mode. Not to say that the game is easy. It isn't. But it removed, like, I found classic mode to just be like a level of stress that I didn't want to deal with. I don't ever want to deal with like some bullshit happening and all of a sudden this this unit that I fucking invested time and like, you know, energy into is just gone forever. Like, that's kind of lame. Like, I don't want to fucking put myself through that shit. Some people might like it. I thought I would be into it, but I turned out to completely hate it. So I don't play on classic mode anymore. I played it on casual, hard mode. It was pretty challenging. I liked Fire Emblem Awakening a lot. I played through Birthright on casual hard mode also, and I'm playing through Conquest right now. Same thing, casual hard mode. So yeah, I'm pretty new to the Fire Emblem series. The only games I've ever played, again, are Awakening and Fates. So yeah, that's kind of my background with Fire Emblem. So if you just to kind of reiterate this, if you're not sure if you want to get into Fire Emblem, or if you're thinking of buying Fire Emblem Fates, I would suggest buy Awakening first. I think it's a little bit easier than Fates. It's just a tiny bit easier. The story is amazing. It's almost, I would put it a tiny little notch below Fire Emblem Fates. Awakening is a great fucking game. I played through it almost twice. I played through it like 1.5 times, and then I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Why don't I have Fire Emblem Fates yet? And then I was like, well, actually, I know why I didn't have it yet. I didn't have Fire Emblem Fates because I wanted to get the stupid collector's edition, and I was hoping, praying to Jesus that the Nintendo Jesus, that he would re-release the collector's edition again. Give me some kind of opportunity to buy it and not spend $300 or $250 or whatever the fuck it is right now. So yeah, that's kind of why I didn't buy Fire Emblem Fates immediately. But then after like a couple weeks, I was like, you know what? I can't take this anymore. I need Fates in my life. And I bought it, and then I loved it. So yeah, that's my little history of Fire Emblem. That's as far back as I go, is like a month and a half. That's it. So let me like officially get into the Fire Emblem Fates Birthright discussion now. Like I said at the beginning of the let me see here. I've got some notes on this that I'm just like kind of looking through. You know what? Yeah, let me put that right here. Okay, so remember when I told you that spoilers were coming in this video? If you haven't played Fire Emblem Fates Birthright and you think that you might be interested at some point in the future, stop watching this video, because I'm going to start getting into some spoilers. Don't fucking spoil the game for yourself, please. Don't do that to yourself. Don't punish yourself like that. It's that fucking good. It's amazing. So yeah, I'm getting into spoiler territory now, so you've been fucking warned. So near the beginning of the game is a decision that you've got to make, basically. Basically what happened is that your early childhood you spent with your Hoshidan family. When you were a child, you were like kidnapped by Nohrians, and so you grew up in Nohr with your Nohrian family. So you were born to your Hoshidan family, you were kidnapped, grew up with your Nohrian family. So near the beginning of the game, basically, you get taken captive. You get taken back to Hoshido, and you kind of reunite with your old Hoshido family. And then I said that I would be getting into spoilers, but I'm gonna try to not spoil as many things. Something happens, and then basically your Hoshidan family and your Nohrian family meet up, and you're kind of in the middle, and both families are like, no, main character, side with us because we're your real family. We love you and whatever. And so basically you've just got to choose who to side with. The family that you were born to, quote unquote, Birthright, which is who you side with in Fire Emblem Fates, Birthright, or the family that you grew up in. You were kidnapped. The family that kidnapped you and raised you, which is who you side with in Fire Emblem Fates Conquest. By the way, I would absolutely, if you haven't played either of them, play Birthright first, and then Conquest, and then Revelation. From what I can tell, I think halfway through Conquest. It seems like it was just kind of set up that way. Birthright's a lot easier, I think. Conquest is pretty fucking hard. Like, I'm not like grinding a whole lot in the game. Like, I'm not like, there's not really much grinding you can do, especially for experience. You can kind of like grind out to like improve like the relationships between units to give them like better like stat boosts and stuff, like when you're actually fighting together, which is very helpful. But you can't really grind for experience or gold, which I don't really find gold to be like much of an issue in Conquest. I haven't really, I don't know, I'm pretty smart with how I spend my gold, I guess. But I would like a little bit more experience. The difficulty level, like, again, I'm playing on hard casual. I really like where the difficulty level is in Conquest right now. I don't have any complaints about that at all. But I'm just saying, play Birthright first, and then Conquest, and then Revelation. I know it's a lot of fucking money to spend. Well, it's, I guess, 80. Well, if you're in the US, it's it's 80 if you buy one physical game and buy the other two as DLC. You pay 40 for the physical game, and then 20 for each of the two DLCs. I wound up spending, I guess, 100. Wait, is it 40? Yeah, I wound up spending it. Wait, is it? No. Yes. Yeah. So I bought Birthright physical and Conquest physical, and I bought the Revelation DLC. I haven't played Revelation at all yet, but I bought it like that because I would like to be able to lend, I don't know, just to have like physical copies of the game. If somebody wants to borrow them, I can lend them out, you know. But I always prefer to have the physical stuff. But anyway, yeah, Birthright first, then Conquest, then Revelation. That's the way Nintendo recommends that you play, and that's the way I recommend that you play. And if you don't follow our recommendations, you're a fool. So don't be a fool. Anyway, so basically, yeah, the decision in the beginning of the game is huge, and it's I really like the cutscenes that you see when you choose both of them. When you choose to side with your Nohrian family, and spoiler alert a little bit, your Nohrian family is kind of evil, or they're on the side of evil, I should say. It's kind of clear that Hoshido is the quote-unquote the good side. They're the light path or whatever. Ryoma, the way your older brother Ryoma reacts to you choosing to side with your Nohrian family, that's some good fucking writing. That is some really good, powerful fucking writing. It's amazing. Well, you know, I guess now that I think about it, in that dialogue, there's some spoilers, but for the very beginning, whatever, fuck it. But yeah, those cutscenes are amazing. The writing is extremely good, in both in Awakening and Fates, it's extremely good. I was just kind of blown away by the story. There have been very few games that I have played and I'll admit this as a fucking man, I'll admit this, that have gotten like tears out of me. One of those, I don't know if 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors did it. The first Zero Escape, I don't know if that did it, but there was one part in the second game, Virtue's Last Reward, that absolutely fucking got tears out of me. Like, god damn it, that was it. Fire Emblem Fates got some fucking tears out of me near the end there. At certain parts in the story and near the end, it's fucking strong. It is really strong. You know what? Actually, you know what? Just for the sake of absolute pure honesty, I'm gonna also admit this. Like, in certain Phoenix Wright games at the end, that also got me all like too. I don't know why, but it did. They also got some tears out of me like near the ends of. I don't know what it is, but you know what I think it is? I think it's when a great fucking story comes to an end. Like, I get sad that it's over, and I'm like, no, I want more of this. I need more of this. Don't stop. Like, don't take this away from me. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I get some people get that way at movies. I don't think I've ever cried at a movie. Well, I'm sure I have, like, many years ago, but I can't recall a movie where that's actually like gotten me to tears. Music doesn't really particularly do it for me. Video games, for some reason, like really good stories in video games, yeah, they can do that to me. So yeah, what I'm saying by all of that is the story is fucking amazing. It's really, really fucking good. So there are some other things that I wanted to say, like talking a little bit more about classic mode in Fire Emblem, which I'm not playing. I'm playing casual mode because I'm a bitch. That characters can die. I have one major gripe about this, and people might disagree, but the fact that characters can die, the fact that you design the game. And by the way, if you don't know who the hell I am, or you don't know anything about me, I'm a game designer, and I've been working on designing games for a while, and so I think about this stuff when I'm playing games. But that you design disposable characters into your game basically means that the story has to be told where those characters that can die, that can, go away, that those cannot be like absolutely like necessary to the story. I don't really like that at all. I think it sucks. Basically, okay, but let me like paint an example for you. You've got a samurai. You've got a samurai on your team, a samurai ninja, and this samurai ninja can be killed at some point in the story. You're just in a fight, just playing through a level, and they just get fucking gang raped by enemies. I don't know, they get critted or something. Something ridiculous happens, and they die. So in order for that story to continue, the whole like the story arc of the game to continue, that character's death must be pretty much inconsequential to the whole story. In other words, if that character can die at some point in the game, the story cannot really depend on that character. They cannot like play a major role in the story. And what that basically means is that pretty much their dialogue in the game, whenever they show up in a cutscene. Hang on a second. My throat's getting a little dry. I haven't fucking recorded in 6 months. Hang on. Okay. Alright, so basically what that means is that all of their dialogue in the game pretty much has to be just kind of like side, unimportant chatter. Kind of like, it adds to the dialogue, but it's not like they can't play, like basically if the main character is going to like being guided by a character to go to this town to do this thing, the person who's guiding them there has to be a major character that cannot die. Excuse me. which means that characters that can, like, if the basically if the main character were like going to this town and I don't know, there's something major was supposed to happen in the town, and that relied on a character that took them to the town to do something. Basically, if that character would have died in a level before they get to the town, like, that would just kind of fuck up the story, and it would just kind of fall apart. Which makes, basically what I'm saying is that if characters can die, if characters can be killed off through the course of the game, they cannot play a major role in the story. And that makes sense, but what I would much prefer is that characters just don't, like, just do away with classic mode and allow all of the characters to have more of a prominent role in the story. I would really like that more than occasionally a character or two will just kind of like fucking just like the cutscene will fade to black and then fade in, and like a little mini cutscene will play like within the cutscene, just showing off like, oh, this character's alive right now, okay, so they have a little bit of dialogue that kind of doesn't really add anything major, but it's just kind of like side chatter, I guess, side banter, which is, it's cool that they have them, you know, that they do that, you know, it's cool that's a thing that's in it. But what I'm saying is that if they could just, if basically they were alive all the time, they could play a more prominent role in the story, which would be really cool, I think. But yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts on that. Also, I don't know, because I barely played classic mode at all. I played like 2 missions on classic mode in Awakening, and I don't really know if this applies to Fates at all, but I don't know if it was just because I was at the beginning of the game or not, but I never like get hit with like a critical hit. Like, it's very, I've gotten, for all my hours playing for Birthright and Awakening and now Conquest, I've gotten hit by a critical hit, an enemy critical hit. An enemy has critically hit me maybe 5 times in all of the hours that I've played that game. Like, it's so fucking rare. But when I played classic mode, like, I got hit, like 2 of those 5 crits were in classic mode. I don't know if that was just because I was at the beginning of the game. I don't know if while you're playing in classic mode, enemy crit rates are just increased. I don't fucking know. But if characters can die again, getting hit by a random, basically getting killed by random chance is kind of bullshit. Like, losing a character that you invested all that time into by random chance is no. Like, fuck that. So I don't know. Me, I don't really like, I feel like that's kind of like too much punishment for me, like too much punishment for me to like, I guess, impose upon myself. Like, I don't like, the game is difficult enough playing on hard mode. I don't also need the added difficulty of losing characters like forever when they die. Like, that's a little bit, no, that's way too ridiculous for me. That's, I don't know, but maybe I'm just a bitch. I don't know. But anyway, alright, so that's my thoughts on classic mode. Not a fan of it. Casual mode is, I don't know. Yeah, that's classic mode. There is another, I don't know when exactly this was, when this was, what's the fucking word I'm looking for? When this was introduced in the Fire Emblem series, but there's like a dating simulation aspect to Fire Emblem. Basically, when like 2 characters fight together, like they gain some kind of points, and like if you gain like 5 points with this character, with 2 characters, then they have a little bit of dialogue, and their quote unquote relationship like level improves, and like they like give each other like better stat boosts and stuff like that, which is cool. I really like that. They kind of like, I didn't mind that at all in Awakening. I didn't at all. I thought it was perfect the way it was. Um, they added a couple of things in Fates though that I kind of was like, this is a little weird. Basically, in Fates, there are parts where like you can invite like your allies to like your house, and you can kind of like bond with them, like. And what that like that's fine, but what it is that it brings up like a close-up portrait of like the character's 3D model, and it's just you can kind of like pan up and down to like look around a little bit, but it's pretty much a close-up of the character. They say one line of dialogue and they look at you and kind of blush a little bit, and it's a little creepy for me. Like I played Persona 3 and Persona 4. I guess I've also played Awakening. I haven't really played. I don't really have a ton of experience with like quote unquote like dating sims in like games, I guess, but I'm not totally new to it. But yeah, when I first saw that, when it was basically like they were looking at you and talking to you, like to you physically, like holding the 3DS, like you were talking to a girl who was looking and talking at you. That was a level of Japanese that I was just I was just a little uncomfortable with. I was like, okay, this is a little bit much. I don't know, but yeah. So I mean, I'm used to it now. It doesn't like weird me out so much anymore. But yeah, when I first saw that, I was like, like, all right, let me put it this way: you wouldn't want to be seen. Holding your 3DS, playing like that cutscene in public, and I wouldn't either, because it's just like this like virtual wife is like talking like, ugh, I don't know, but it's anyway. That was what I thought on it. There was another thing though that was included in Fates that was actually removed from the Western version. I guess it's in the Japanese version of Fates. Something called Skinship, and this is a thing that I've seen in other very Japanese games, where you, as you probably know, the bottom screen on a 3DS is touch sensitive. You can touch the screen. It's amazing. So what Skinship is you take your stylus and you rub girls in various parts on their body, and they react to it, probably blushing and laughing and giggling and maybe getting upset if you touch something you're not supposed to. I don't know how far it gets. I've seen like one video of it just to see what the fuck it was. And you know what? I'm typically not a fan of features getting cut from games. I'm typically, of the mindset that more features, great, cool. I like more features. Like even if I don't ever use the feature, it's cool to have it there. But I'm kind of glad that was not included in the Western version, because to be honest, here's how I feel about it. If it were in the game, I would feel like if I didn't do it at all, I would be missing out on like a tiny portion of the game. Like I don't like not experiencing everything that there is to experience in a game. I don't know if that's just like a completionist weirdo thing that I have, but I like experiencing everything. I like knowing what the fuck everything is, and I don't know if that's my personal preference or whatever, but I'm really glad that I kind of don't even have the option to do that, because I really wouldn't want to, and I would really feel uncomfortable doing it. And now that it's not in the game, I don't feel like I'm missing it. Like, if I want to, I can check it out on YouTube, but I don't want to. I really don't. It's really fucking creepy. It's really, really creepy. And I really want to live in Japan someday. I would fucking love that. But I am just going to stay the fuck away from that stuff. Like, That's I don't I know it's a cultural thing. I know it is because I've seen something similar in when I was playing Yakuza 4. There's a I actually I think included it in a Metal Gear Solid 4 video, just a clip of what the fuck happened at some part, but it's very crazy and Japanese like that. Like Japanese is the only way I know how to describe that. Like creepy / Japanese. Like that is Japanese level creepy. Like it's. But yeah, I am I'm not a fan of it. I'm creeped out by it. I don't know. I really don't know what else to say about it. It's weird and it's creepy, and I'm glad that it's kind of not in the game. To be honest, like if you're somebody who wants that in a game, like, and that provides some kind of like emotional connection for you that you're not getting, like you should probably take a look at your life and like reevaluate some things, like, because if that's what you're turning to for like companionship or whatever, like maybe look elsewhere. Like I don't know, it's I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What else can I say about it? It's weird. But it's I don't know. It's weird and it's Japanese. It's kind of funny actually, I think, but like I said, I'm glad it's not in the game. Kind of. There's another like element to Fire Emblem Fates. Basically you get like a castle, like a base, a headquarters that you can customize. You can like build shops and stuff. You can like move stuff around, and you can have like castle battles where you can like invade somebody else's castle and like take out all their guys and stuff, and they can invade you and all that shit. It's I don't really care about it all that much. It's kind of like more PvP type stuff. I haven't ever played anybody like online PvP in Fire Emblem. I'm not really interested in it, to be honest. But basically, like I said before, the way that you improve the relationships between two characters is to have them fight together. And if you're basically at a point where you want to improve the relationships between like two of your fucking whatever characters, you have to fight, which means that you either have to do like a side mission, which there are none in Fire Emblem Conquest. Basically none. Or you have to invade somebody's castle and like find a way to do a tiny amount of damage on a thing that gets healed every turn, so that you basically just chipping away at their HP as like slowly as possible, just to like fight more between two characters, so that their relationship improves, like when you finish the battle and you go back to your castle. I don't really like grindy things like that in video games. I'm not a fan of it at all. I mean, I've played fucking Harvest Moon and I've played fucking Animal Crossing, and I'm fans of those series, and those are very, very much about grinding. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of it. I don't like grinding, I guess, but I don't really know how else you would handle this, and like I don't really know what the alternative would be to making it like heavy grinding like this. Yeah, I don't know. I just what I'm saying is that I have found myself in Conquest, because that I'm not really able to just go out and fight like fight in like side quest things to like level up and stuff. You can't do that in Conquest. You can grind to like increase the like the level of like the relationships between characters. You can do that, but you cannot grind for experience or gold in Conquest. You can do that in Birthright, which is why I didn't mind it so much. But yeah, in Conquest, it's just a little bit more painful because all you're getting is like relationships between like characters. Nobody's getting experience or gold or anything. So that's kind of like it's less fulfilling, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I'm just not really a fan of grinding in video games. But that's a minor, a little tiny minor gripe of mine. And also the reason that you would want to like increase like the relationship, I should have probably mentioned this earlier, but the reason why you would want to, and this applies to Birthright and Conquest, is that married characters can like reclass to each other's like base classes. So like if you've got like a ninja, like a character that started off as a ninja and a character that started off as a samurai, and they get married, the ninja can then reclass to the samurai, and the samurai can then reclass to the ninja. Basically, that's kind of the way that works. And certain characters can also like become like quote unquote like best friends with a character of their own gender. There is no like homosexual relationships in the game. So like the main character, like not the main character, but like two guys, like a knight could probably like reclass to like a ninja or something like that. And vice versa. But that's kind of like, so that's a cool way to like it's a cool little added bit of depth, I guess, to the whole relationship thing. In Awakening, I think the only real reason to increase the relationships between characters would be for that little stat bonus that you get when they're paired up and they're fighting together, and also to have like kids. Yeah, like if two characters get married, you can basically recruit the child into your team and like to fight with the child. And the way they explain it in basically in both games is that time just flows much faster. Well, that's not really, that really only applies to Fates. They kind of explain it differently in Awakening, but I don't really want to spoil that. So basically, like when you, basically in Fates, after you get married, you can immediately then go and recruit your child, who is either still a child or like a teenager or like a young adult, basically somewhere in that like age range. But yeah. So that's another like reason that you would want to like increase the relationships between characters. So it's kind of cool. I like the amount of depth that there is to it. There is something else that's kind of creepy and Japanese about it though, in that there are certain characters in the game who really don't look or act or sound like the adults that they supposedly are, and those characters can marry adults and have children with adults, and that's fucking weird. Like there are at least two kids that I can like name off the top of my head, and I always when I played through Awakening and now that I'm playing, when I then played through Birthright, I tried marrying the kids to other kids, like just because I don't really want to see that dialogue between like a kid and like an adult, and like when they get married and then they're in love, and like that's fucking weird. That's really fucking weird. I don't know. I don't know. It seems like in Japan that's sort of, no, you know what? I'm gonna call it what it is. Fucking pedophilia. I'm gonna call it what the fuck it is. It seems like in Japan, pedophilia is a little bit less frowned upon than it is in the West, which is really creepy to me. But I don't know, cultural differences. So yeah, that's. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know what else they could have Like it, like there's a little girl. She has the voice actor that fucking plays this little girl. If you played Persona 4, she's Nanako's voice actor. Nanako's voice actor plays a little girl in Fire Emblem Fates that you can marry and have those like first person like I love you bits of dialogue. And in the Japanese version, I don't know, but I'm assuming in the Japanese version there's that whole skinship thing where you can rub on a child, and that is so fucking weird. Ugh. But anyway, that's it's optional if you're into kids, I guess. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for all the creepy shit that I found in Fire Emblem. Aside from the very, and it is a little bit, the very small amount of creepy shit that I found in Fire Emblem Fates, it's an amazing game. Like, if you're somebody like listening to this and you're like, oh my god, like this, what, you can marry a child? Like, I'm never gonna buy that game. I'm gonna protest that fuck. Like, don't do that, because the rest of the game is really, really, really fucking good. Just don't marry the child. That's all you gotta do. But anyway, so yeah, I really don't have like a whole lot more to say about it. I just kind of wanted to throw out some things there. There was one other thing that I noticed a lot, and this is a major, massive, gigantic, enormous spoiler for the ending of the game. So if yeah, major, huge spoiler. If you've played the whole game, watch the rest of this video. If you haven't, then stop. But when I was fighting the last boss in Birthright on hard mode, casual, I'm gonna show you. I took a picture of it. This is a picture of my character's health after one attack. My character was at full health. I had he was paired up with his wife, which was his little sister, but is not his birth little sister. They're not blood related. So fucking. So basically, like, he had like the highest possible stat bonus that he could get from like another character. I was at full HP. I attacked the boss once, and he counterattacked and dropped my HP to 1. I had 1 HP. I don't know if that was like purpose. I think that was done on purpose. Like, if it were just fucking programmed that like on hard mode, you one hit will bring you down to 1 HP, and that's supposed to be like this like ridiculous, oh my god, you're on the edge of death kind of thing, which I am a fan of. That's cool. I don't know if it was that, or if it really was that if I had 1 less HP, if I had 1 less hit point or 1 less defense point, I would have died. Like, I don't know which of those it is, but like, I did a pretty fair amount of grinding, I guess, in Birthright. Like, I got most of the children. The main character was like in pretty much every fucking battle that I was in. So he was pretty strong. I don't know if, so basically what I'm saying is, like, if that boss really were so strong that 1 hit would have actually killed that character, like if that weren't, like, literally if I had 1 less defense point, like, I would have died. Like, that's kind of ridiculous. I know in a turn-based strategy game like this, where pretty much the only thing that can add to difficulty pretty much is like the amount of enemies you place and numerical stats, like, you can't, while you're fighting an enemy, you cannot move the control stick and dodge an attack or block or something. So, like, I guess the numerical stats is all that difficulty pretty much has to rely on, especially like when you're fighting a final boss like that. Pretty much for the most part, like, I get that, but That's kind of crazy. Like, I would not have wanted to like finish off that boss with anybody but the main character, which is why I had the main character pair up with his wife and attack like that. I kind of want, like, what's also cool about the game is that like when two characters maybe like two brothers are like fighting each other or something, or like the main character and like somebody from the main character's past are fighting, they'll have like a little bit of dialogue before they actually like start attacking each other, which is cool. I like that. So I figured probably having the main character fight the final boss would trigger some kind of cool dialogue, which is why I fought him with the main character. But yeah, I just think it's kind of crazy that one more I literally was on the edge of, like, I had the least amount of defense and hit points that I could possibly have, like, just by luck. I don't know what, like, how to attribute that to anything, but yeah, I thought that was kind of crazy. Especially since I really didn't rush through the game. The last level was actually pretty tough. Like I said, I didn't like rush. I took, I think, something like 15 or 20 turns on the last level. I watched somebody on YouTube earlier today do it in one turn, but he was on like the easiest difficulty. But still, that was just. So yeah, I guess what I'm saying is like the difficulty curve in the game is very good. Hard classic, no, not classic. Hard casual is a very comfortable. Well, it's very challenging, but it's not like super like painfully difficult. Is what I'm saying. It's a very good balance, I think. And I also felt that way with Awakening. So yeah, if you're pretty confident about games like I've had experience with, I played like every Advance Wars game, so I'm like semi confident. Like I'm used to like managing a bunch of different units that have weaknesses and strengths and all that, and terrain effects. I'm used to all of that stuff, so I felt like, okay, so I fucking played Advance Wars. Like I've kicked ass at Advance Wars. I'm pretty fucking good, so I can fucking handle hard fucking casual. I got this. And then I didn't have it. No, hard casual. Classic. I did not have hard classic. I lost it. But I did have hard casual. Ugh, my throat is all dry again. Ugh. But anyway, I really don't know what else to say about Fire Emblem. Like I said, I'm I think about halfway through Conquest. But I fucking should have mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but what I wasn't sure about before buying Fates. When I first saw Fates, here was my first impression of Fates. Oh, it's East versus West. I get it. Oh, there's two families. Oh, they're both basically totally symmetrical to each other. Okay, so both paths are just going to be pretty much like, okay, you're on opposite ends of the same battles. Like, okay, then it's pretty much the same story, but polar opposites. I get it. Everything is a polar opposite of each other. Like, So I saw that and I was like, it's kind of, I don't really want to buy the same game twice. I basically was thinking like, well, not to this extreme, but I was basically kind of sort of comparing it to like Pokemon Red and Blue. I know it's kind of an extreme comparison to make, but that's what I was thinking before I played the game. Before I played a Fire Emblem game, I looked at it and I was like, okay, I see what this is. To my pleasant surprise, Conquest is very different from Birthright. It's the same overall story from what I can tell. And you are on like the opposite side of the war, basically. And to be honest, after playing Birthright, what I was wondering about was how the fuck does any of this stuff get justified in Conquest? Like, how the fuck do you justify siding with this like very obviously evil fucking side? Like, how, like, very, very apparent that in near the end of Birthright that the Nohrian side is the quote unquote bad side. Not necessarily that your family is bad, more that they're just on the wrong. They're on the side of evil, basically. So I won't spoil Conquest at all, but what I'll say is that the way they're justifying it is very. I was very pleasantly surprised. Like I was. They're doing a very good job of making you feel like not an evil protagonist who is on the side of evil. Basically, I'll put it that way. So yeah, but I was thinking that Conquest is just a more difficult version, but you're on the other side of Birthright, and that's not the case at all. I haven't. I have Revelation. I bought it, but I haven't played it at all, and I will as soon as I'm done with Conquest. But there are a few fucking, to like sum all of this up. There are a few franchises, a few like series that I follow closely. When I was 9 years old, it started with Pokemon. Before like that, it was like Mega Man X. I was way into Mega Man. Zelda, Mario, Kirby game. Well, not so much lately, but like there are. I'll put it this way: there are very few series that I'm a major fan of, and since I started playing Awakening a couple of months ago, now I can say that I am absolutely a major Fire Emblem fan. Like, I played a good amount of Smash Brothers 4 on Wii U, and I kind of saw all the Fire Emblem characters, and I was like, all right, Nintendo, we get it. You really, really love Fire Emblem. Like, we get it. Like, there's like 10% of like the whole character roster is from Fire Emblem games. Like, we get it. Fire Emblem is really big in Japan or something, but after playing Awakening and Birthright, I really get it now. Like, Lucina is my fucking go-to character in Smash Brothers. I think Corrin is probably my second go-to character now. I've been after that like Palutena and then like Toon Link. But yeah, like I have been turned completely on Fire Emblem. I was not a fan of it at first. I don't know why I wasn't a fan of it, to be honest. I think I just didn't play it right when I played the demo like years ago for Awakening. I think I just didn't know what the fuck I was doing, really. I didn't know like parity but for characters and stuff. Like, I didn't really know how to check like enemies' attack ranges and stuff and where to put them, and like who can attack from a distance and who has to be up close, who's got high defense. I didn't really know about that shit. I guess I just wasn't used to it. So if you play the demo and you're like that, you don't. It just takes a little bit of getting used to, which is why I'm suggesting that you play Awakening first. I just kind of feel like it's more. It's a little bit more like friendly to beginners. I kind of felt like, sort of, kind of. I don't know, but I felt like I made the right choice by starting with Awakening. Again, Awakening is an amazing game. If you haven't played it, stop punishing yourself now and go buy it. But yeah, I don't. I love fucking Fire Emblem Fates. I don't really know what else to say about it. I kind of. There's a part of me, honestly, that kind of wishes that I had recorded it, because I would just kind of like to revisit kind of those moments. But I've kind of also of the mindset that like if I were to record it and upload it, that would just kind of mean that fewer people would actually go out and buy it and play it themselves. Like, for most games, especially older games, I don't really mind that so much. But yeah, if you're, let me put it this way: if you're interested in Fire Emblem at all, if you've seen it and if what you've seen interests you, just buy it. Just buy Awakening and just try it. If you're interested in it at all, I don't. If the story doesn't fucking captivate you enough, if the fucking voice acting doesn't do it, if the fucking all the amount of strategy that you need, like when playing it, not on fucking classic, because fuck classic, then I don't know. I just think it's a very. I just think if you're interested in it at all, then all the things about Fire Emblem that you don't know about, if you just seen it and if you just kind of heard about it and if you've heard some music and you've seen some cutscenes, like if you've seen a tiny snippet of it and that interests you, like I can't imagine that the rest of the game will disappoint you. Like it's really fucking good. And okay, so my throat is officially starting to give out. I need some more water. Thanks, Azura. Okay. All right, so that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I think I got everything out there. Yeah. Like, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna just end it here. All right, guys. Yeah, that's about all I've got to say about Fire Emblem Fates Birthright. I think I covered everything. Of course, if you got any comments, questions, concerns, if you want to tell me how badly I suck, feel free to do so. Like, dislike, subscribe, whatever the fuck you want to do. Alright, I have no idea, to be honest, what I'm going to record next. Like I said at the beginning of this video, it's been like half a year since I fucking recorded anything. I didn't mean to go this long without any recording, but I've just been really, really fucking busy with shit. I've gotten a lot done. I've improved my life, my standard of living quite a bit. I'll say that also. But yeah, all that in another video. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. See you later.